wild and wicked, this beast yearns for you. I suggest you aim for the head. Not yet. Sorry. Heads. This one hunger. Need a sec. Get so
So we did make some upgrades to this build, and I kind of wanted to go over them with you and just kind of showcase what we did change. Now, as far as gear, we did get a better staff. We got a three socketed staff, which is great. Now we got 15% increased attack speed instead of 10. We did make one small upgrade to our chest piece. We got the 5% increased maximum mana per socketed rune or soul core on top of the attributes. Ideally, you are going to want 5% attributes, mana, plus 10 spirit, and probably the most important one, which is the plus 10% increase to all elements, elemental resistances, but those things are super expensive. So this chest piece that I found with attributes and mana was about 2 divs, so this is a very manageable upgrade with 4 sockets. We didn't get lucky on the corruption and get a 5th socket. We got 40 max life, but it's still a huge upgrade. It gave us like 600 more mana. So we upgraded that. And then we did make a small change to our amulet here. We changed the the 17% lightning res from my previous video to intelligence, and so we got strength, intelligence, and all attributes. So that was a small change there. So that's what we changed inside the gear, guys. My current stats are 550 intelligence, 315 dexterity, and 273 strength. Now, before you guys go crazy in the comments, I do want to let you know that, as you guys just saw from the little bit of clips, we can kill everything. We could still kill all, all the major bosses. We can do breach very, very efficiently. We did kill the trial master, as you guys saw, but it was just, it's a little tough. Like the damage, we can only scale so much without having the 2 upgrades here, which is very important. So we don't really have a whole lot of room to grow past this point besides the Ingenuity Belt as well as Astromantis. I think the Ingenuity Belt would really make this thing go crazy, and then if we got a little bit better of a chest piece. But really, that is all we can do on gear. Now, as far as the passive tree, we did make some changes. We have these points back. We did come down. We do have our attack speed in here. All this is the same. We did take out these additional nodes here because we found out we really didn't need them. Then we come all the way up here, and we finally did make the switch over to Mom and or Mind Over Matter. So we took Mind Over Matter with Eldritch Battery, and we were able to kind of maximize this. We ended up taking raw mana for increased maximum mana. And then, of course, Ether Flow with some more mana regen here. So we end up going to 4,300 mana, 25, almost 2,600 life. So we are fairly tanky. Okay, we are still able to manage our mana even with the 50% less mana recovery rate from Mind Over Matter. So we did make the change in the tree. I will have a second version on the written guide for you if you want to make this change. Now, the other big change that we made is in our jewels, but before we go into that, I just want to talk about the Mind Over Matter Eldritch Battery thing. So when it comes to our stats, intelligence is the most important. I get this asked all the time in the stream, and we've got it asked in comments on the videos. Intelligence is the most important one. The reason for this is because we want the bigger increase of the AoE effect per intelligence. So Herald of Thunder is by far our biggest AoE dealer, in which allows us to clear. Now, I've also added in Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ice. This combination, as you guys saw, just absolutely destroys. Now, you don't have to do Herald of Ice. It just makes the explosions and everything a lot cooler. But that's the reason why we have so much more intelligence. Now, why is strength the lowest when strength gives us increased weapon damage per 5 strength? So, yes, we still need to have a good amount of strength, which we will get once we kind of increase our belt and then get Astromantis. But right now we do enough damage to kill all the bosses, do any kind of breach, any kind of mapping is super efficient. Now, I will say in my current setup right now, I do not have the stats for Pinnacle boss. I do have the stats to be able to fight the tier 4 like breach boss and other tier 4 bosses, but you are going to have to go through the mechanics. You're not going to be able to super one-shot them very, very quickly and just take them down. You're going to, just like you saw against the Trial Master, you're going to have to go through some of the mechanics with this version, but it easily can be done, right? So once we can get and scale our rings even more. Now, the other reason that we want to upgrade our rings is eventually we're going to want to swap the 16% elemental resistances for all attributes. We're going to need to do this on both of our rings, which will help scale the build exponentially. The only way that we're going to be able to do that is if we get a Grand Regalia that has 10% increased to all elemental resistances built in right there next to maximum mana and the attributes. Those are very, very expensive to get, but that on top of the extra 20% in here is basically how we cap our resistances. So that way we don't have to put any in our rings, and we also don't have to put any in our boots. So that's another big upgrade. If we had that chest piece, then we could take away the all reses here in our rings for all attributes, and we could take the resistances out of here in our boots, and we could add chaos resistance as well as some more stats to stack our attributes. So those are like the next big upgrades that we're going to make, or at least try to. This chest piece is just really expensive. So right now I think I've hit a brick wall as far as we can go. Now to the next big change that we did make is we did take the Adorned. There is some more jewels that we can take to get to upgrade this build. There's another unique. It's called the Black something. It's another unique jewel that we can get some increased percent to strength and increased percent to intelligence, or you could do dexterity. I just don't have it because it's impossible to find. You can't search on the trade site for it, so you just have to do it this way. But we did take the Adorned with a 38%. I got one of these from the Trial Master, which was great. These do drop from the Trial Master, so that's why I'm continuing to farm these. These do max out to 100%. So if you get one that's super, super high, then it'll increase all these little jewels that we have, like the increased mana recovery and elemental damage. We're looking for ones that are increased attack speed and magnitude of shock. We also have ones that give me magnitude, shock, and attack speed. This jewel right here is fantastic for doing the Trial of Chaos, because Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on me with a percent attack damage and attack speed. So these kind of ones are very, very good. I still got some more jewels that I can replace. Now, for context, just to see what the increase is from the Adorned, if you hover over the jewel, it just shows what it is. But if you hover over this outer circle, it'll show you that like it's 4% and 9% instead of 3 and 7. So it actually shows the buff that you would get from the Adorned. If I had 90%, or higher than this would be fantastic for each jewel. So we did make those small upgrades to the build, guys. I'll have all this down in the planner below. But yeah, this is pretty much where we're at with the Gemling Tempest Flurry build. We are no longer using Charge Staff at all. However, if you do want to use Charge Staff, you definitely can. But I have found that like now with this switch and using Mom, not only am I more tankier, but I can still destroy bosses just as fast, because that was one thing that I was concerned about by losing Charge Staff, was not going to have the additional damage against bosses. But it turns out it's fine. So we only have one Tempest spell now, so we just hit Hand of Chalua or Hand of Chalupa, and we hit Flurry, we drop our bell, and then bosses die. So we just need to be able to scale our strength even more for bosses. But besides that, guys, this is the update to the build. I really do hope you guys enjoy it. Like the video, comment down below if you guys have any questions about this build and what we're doing here. The Anoint is blurred motion, which gives us increased attack speed, accuracy, and dexterity, which is great. If you have the money, you can come over here and anoint Falcon Technique on. It's just suffering, despair is a lot unless you have them. So, but if you do, I would definitely anoint Falcon Technique, and that would save you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points that you could put somewhere else. You could probably like put the 8 points down into here, which would be great. More mana regen, or come over here and add some more elemental damage. Anything like that would be super good. Or just go get more jewel slots. That's always seems to be good. Like come grab more jewels, because jewels in this game are absolutely busted. So yeah, that's the update, guys. Like the video, comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be sure to try to answer them the best I can. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, as always. Stay gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.